All right. So you may have noticed that there's two people in the room with us. And no, it's not the Christmas spirits. It's in fact Dax, Sake, and Zhoniin. Surprise gangbang here today. Usually, I like to drop these prediction videos well in advance, and it's usually just me. But since I got two legends here, two fellow One Piece YouTubers, I wanted to gauge their thoughts on the next chapter as well. So the way we're going to tackle it is that Dax will drop 4 predictions on what he thinks will happen next chapter. Zhoniin will drop 4, and then I'll drop the final one. I'll drop the golden nut. So to get things started, we'll go back and forth. Dax, what is your first prediction for 1166? What do you got?
So the one thing that I feel very confident that's going to happen is that we're going to get to see the final words from Rox. Like, he's not just going to fade away. He's going to get like a little bit of a send-off. And he's going to tell Roger and Garp, please take care of my son. Because Roger and Garp already had a connection like that at the end of Roger's life where he told Garp to take care of his son. Now, the other option that I want to throw in here is that Whitebeard might also hear this. Because then that would add a lot of backdrop to Teach eventually joining Whitebeard's crew. If Whitebeard knew that was Rox's kid, maybe that's why they didn't go right after Blackbeard after he killed Thatch. He knew there was a little bit more to it, you know what I mean? So that's my first prediction. We're going to start off with Rox getting his final goodbyes and to urge those boys to take care of his kid.
Do you think it's going to be via Voice of All Things or like actual like speaking?
I'm 50-50, man, because I was thinking about it, like, if he's still in, Domi Reversi mode, then maybe Voice of All Things, but I would imagine he's gonna, like, fall out of it after this and, like, have, like, a little bit of a, like a moment where he's talking normal, but I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50. If he's doing Voice of All Things, then going back to the Whitebeard thing, like, Whitebeard didn't hear the Voice of All Things yet, now maybe he wasn't close enough or something, but I would lean maybe more towards a normal voice just so everyone can hear it, but I'm a little 50-50 on that.
I hope more than just Whitebeard hears it too. Like, I hope his former crew also hears his words. Like, man, dude, you guys really just left your captain there to die? Like, that's it? Like, what if Rox's final words, they're inspirational for Garp and Rancher, but what if it's like a curse towards the rest of them? Like, hey, F you guys. Like, none of you helped me. And then this could, like, fuel the Blackbeard revenge theory. Like, yeah, Blackbeard's getting revenge for his pops because his pops hates you guys, man. What the hell? Except for maybe Whitebeard. Maybe he's, like, the one exception, which is why Blackbeard joins his crew. Because I think at one point Blackbeard even says, hey, I thought you were going to be king. What happened, old man?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea that there's, even if it's not like a literal curse, but he just kind of spooks the rest of the Rox pirates, you know what I mean? They're like They think in the back of their head, like, oh, Rox is going to come back and get me one day, just like he said to Emu, like, I like that idea for sure, and then if Blackbeard ends up fulfilling that would be very, very cool, I think, for sure.
Yeah, it could be like the Toki thing, where Toki put the fear god in Orochi, like, hey, in 20 years, 9 shadows will emerge. It's like, okay. Next up is Zhoniin. Zhoniin, what do you got? What's your first prediction? And also, I'm sure you guys know this, but try not to like fall in line with each other's predictions. Imagine Zhoniin's first one is, Rox's final words through the Voice of All Things, and Whitebeard hears it. It's like, okay.
I'm already sweating that Zhoniin's about to say my next one. It's like we're in class, and like someone calls on you. It's like, dang it, like I actually had that answer, but you didn't call on me, so yeah.
All right, what do you got, Z?
Well, I just hope there is some Rox update at all. If it just ends there and that's it, it's an ambiguous death. Disappointing, so I hope not. So just in general, whatever it is with Rox, even if we just see his dead body, that's good enough for me. But I would like to get just an update on Eris and Teach. I think that would be cool. See where Eris went, see where Teach went. Ultimately, I think it's going to lead to Drum Kingdom for some reason, because why did Blackbeard, ravage that place? There's some kind of connection there with something. And I know Eris wanted to go to Lelusia, but it's like, where did Kuma send them? He could have only sent them a few places, right? He was still young. He hadn't been many places yet, or at least that we know of. Right. He came from the Sorbet Kingdom, could have sent them there. But other than that, it was just like, we know that he was at Sorbet and God Valley, so I guess he could have, in his slave transport, been somewhere else.
Yeah, the Holy Land. I guess, but that would be that's like the last
That'd be
place
so
to send
foul.
them.
I love that, dude. Yeah, Kuma, he calls his like former like slave master like, I did you a solid, man. Ha ha ha. Take the Davy clan. Like, you know what's funny? The Straw Hats visit so many islands, and pirates, they visit so many islands, and it's just whatever. But Blackbeard visiting Drum Kingdom, that's just so spooky for no reason. Like, we look at that and we're like, okay, there's got to be some reason. Like, it's surely it's not just like the log pose pointing at that island, right? Like, there's got to be like some deeper meaning. Like, either Kureha, people are saying Chopper's fruit. Some people even said Wapol, which, I mean, it could be him because he fleed and then they left, so it's like, maybe? Like, we don't know. But yeah, it's going to be brought back eventually. So yeah, I like that. Just a Rocks update in general. And I hope we do get that. I was so, not peeved, but I was so perturbed because some people are like, oh, that's it. We're going to go back to King Herald now. It's like, no, please.
Yeah.
Do not go back to King Herald right away. We have to, but, you know, just linger here for a little bit, man, because we still need the island getting destroyed. It's copium at this point, but we still need the God Knights doing something at least. Like, they introduced, like, so many cool ones in the background. Never got their names. Never saw any showing. The Rocks Pirates somehow left the island. None of these guys showed out. It's like, I think we need a little bit more before we go. Like, just 1 or 2 chapter. But, yeah, I like that. Dax, what do you got next?
So this one is, it's a little bit of a spicy take. It's a lot to fit into 1 chapter, so maybe this will take longer than just the next chapter, but I think the seeds will at least be planted the next chapter. But I think we're going to get to see the 7 devil fruits of God Valley that we have not seen yet, right? That's the big thing for me at God Valley we haven't seen. And the reason why I think we're going to see it this next chapter is, you know how the last chapter was called like Echoes or Reverberations, and the point was like, oh yeah, the Rocks Pirates, you know, after this event went on to like shape the world in the future, right? Like this event went on to have major, you know, implications for the rest of time, basically. Well, we also saw in the chapter that, like, Oda stopped to show us each of those individual groups that were leaving, right? We got Polo Graham and Whitebeard. We saw Stussy leaving with treasure. We saw Gilbaster with the Horo Horo no Mi. We saw Gonzui leaving. We saw Silverax running for a ship. Like, everyone was leaving on their own separate thing. And a lot of them also had treasure with them. They had, like, a bag of treasure that we don't know what's in there. So I think the next chapter is going to follow each of those individual groups, even if it's just a couple panels each. And just like how Roger opened his treasure chest and was like, whoa, there's a baby in here. You know, we saw that with like the film Red stuff or whatever it was with the Shanks stuff. You know, whenever we got that little like preview chapter of them finding Shanks in the treasure chest, I think in very much the same way, all these other people are going to like look in their treasure that they took and be like, all right, what we get? What are the spoils? And then they're going to find a devil fruit. And that's going to tell us kind of, you know, building onto the reverberations or echoes idea, that's going to show us like, wow, like it's not just that they're powerful pirates who shape the world like individually. It's like now we know where those fruits went that ended up probably in the hands of people we know now. Even though we don't know what the 7 are, I would imagine most of them are going to be fruits we're familiar with. You know what I mean? So that I think is at least going to start next chapter.
I hope so. I think that'll be really cool. Like, they all go separate ways, but they all have, like, one specific devil fruit. Yeah. And this could bring old characters back into relevancy, like Bellamy, for example, right? Like, imagine one of those fruits is the Spring no Mi. Which, you know, it's possible. One of them is, like, a set of, like, Don Krieg's armor.
Yeah. I mean, that explains how he got it, so...
Yeah, maybe that's where we get like Marco's devil fruit, for example.
Yep.
Pologram's like, hey, look at this, Whitebeard. And it's like the Phoenix fruit, which that'd be fun.
Yeah, that was the big one that kind of tipped me off to it, because I was actually going through this with Kev DOG, and we were like counting the amount of groups that were leaving, and we're like, okay, I think there's like 9 or something groups, but like Kaido already has his fruit. We know Roger has Shanks. So like if you narrow it down, there is about 7 groups that could theoretically be leaving with the devil fruit. And that's what kind of started it for me, is I was like, okay, well, Whitebeard just met Polo Graham, so I feel like this is a hint as to how the Phoenix fruit came to be, right? This seems to be a hint that, like, going on to the reverberations idea, this is where the Marco reverberation began, I guess you could say. And so then I started wondering about the other ones, like Stussy's leaving with a bag of treasure. Does she get the bat fruit, and that's why her clone, which is made 2 years after this, also has the bat fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool implications here. Like Gil Baster, it's like, okay, did he just get the Horo Horo no Mi from the treasure that he stole? Or did he already have it, and maybe he took the shadow fruit, and so he is like the source of both of those fruits now for those people,
God.
right? There's so many cool outcomes we could see out of this.
No, I love that. That's brilliant. Zhoniin, what do you got next for your prediction list?
So I mean, just to play it safe, unfortunately, God Valley's over. I mean, ideally, I want there to be at least one more chapter to just wrap everything up, but I'm just not fully sure we're gonna get that. Especially because of like the ending narration, it was kind of just like wrapping it up. It was like, yep, that happened. The Rocks pirates, they went on to do stuff, and then no one ever remembered what happened with God Valley. It's, all right, on to Elbaf 14 years ago. I mean, so I'm gonna say we go back to Elbaf 14 years ago. Yeah.
So end of chapter, we hit Elbaf again.
But all the way to 14 years ago, so we skip, because I guess there's not that much in between, really. Maybe like Lola's marriage situation, but...
Well, I mean, okay, so it would be cool if we see, like, Herald reacting to, I guess, Rock's dying, stuff like that. But I do think Oda probably is just going to try to wrap this up now.
Yeah, so 14 years is so interesting, because that's like when Herald dies, right?
Yeah, that's the point of the flashback we're in, is to see that, right? That's the one thing we know we're going to see for sure.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just feel like we need more build-up for that, though. Like, we need to see how, like, Herald gets in with the world government, and even before he dies, like, he has this, like, connection with Shanks. Like, we know him and Shanks talk at the Holy Land, and Shanks wanted to tell him something, but he never gets the chance to. So I think we need to get a little bit more. And then, of course, like, if we go 14 years ago, then we're also skipping, like, the horn tearing off, which I think is going to be big as well.
You know what? You raised a good point. So maybe 14 years at the end. Oh, I just say 14 years eventually, just because Oda moves really fast in these chapters. Especially like when he wasn't focusing on the God Valley stuff. There was like years going by per chapter at that point. So yeah, I guess, that's a great point. We need to see them connecting with Shanks, Harold and Shanks, Harold removing his horns, which all could easily just happen in a chapter. That could just be one page,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, I would love if we got like a Roger King Harold moment. Like, hey, you knew Rocks too? Yeah, here's some sake, man. Yeah, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, I cried as I was killing him.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the meme of like Roger talking to Whitebeard? Like, hey, your captain didn't betray you.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a demon, and he was begging us to kill him. He didn't want to do any of that. And then Whitebeard's like, I don't care, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say that it'd be really cool if Harold, kind of starts thinking that Roger's a bad guy for killing Rocks, and then Roger goes and tells him, like, look, I know what the papers are saying, but he was telling me to kill him, right? It's like, I need you to know that Rocks wanted this outcome, like that. I think that'd be a powerful conversation. Would remind me a little bit of like Roger and Whitebeard, a little, with like the Will of D discussion. Be kind of similar. They just share some sake, or like, let me tell you what really happened,
And that'd be really cool considering that, Elbaf is like a meeting place for all these Ds. We don't know what the D means, but I subscribe to the half moon theory. So it's like, like if Rocks is one half of the D, Roger's the other half, and Elbaf is like the great connector there. That's like the giant meeting place, which is fitting because that's where the Atom Tree's at.
Yeah, I was about to say, and also going back to the Nolan and Calgara of it all. I forget exactly, but you mentioned the chapter title was like, what was it, like Two Sides of the Moon Hidden by the Clouds or something like that, right? Something to that effect. It would make sense that if there's a time for all that to come full circle, it's going to be Elbaf, because that is like the post-time skip Skypiea in a way. Like this is where a lot of those tropes are going to come back. Still waiting for Enel and Yarouge to show up at some point. So it would make sense that we'd bring all that back now too. So that makes a lot of sense.
So that brings us to the next prediction. Dax, what do you got for our fifth one of the video?
All right, so I'm kind of piggybacking off of Zhoniin a little bit here, and I was really glad you didn't say it, and I was careful not to say it myself in my rebuttal so I could save it for this moment. But I think And again, I'm not 100% sure it'll be the next chapter, but definitely in one of the next couple, we are going to see Loki learn about Rox's death and run over to the beach with, like, you know, super emotional, very much like Odin did when Roger died. But the main difference is when Odin ran to the beach, he was like happy crying, right? He was sad that Roger died, but he was happy because it's like, you lived such an amazing life, you accomplished your dream, blah, 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 right? He was like happy but sad at the same time. I think Loki will be very angry and sad at the same time. He's going to be like, Rox, I thought you were going to become king of the world. I thought you were going to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't accomplish what you told me. I put my belief in you and you failed. Now what am I supposed to believe? And the reason I really like that is just not for like just even the baseline emotional thing. You know, we're kind of learning Loki's life right now, and that's going to be a major point. But I also think it's interesting looking forward to how Luffy is going to later, you know, convince Loki, like, hey, I am better than that guy, or you need to believe in me like you believed in him. I know maybe you've kind of closed yourself off from believing in other people after that, right? But and not that Luffy's actually going to say these things, but he's going to do something to show Loki, like, hey, Loki, like, I know you gave up on all that stuff and you just want to destroy the world now and all that, but don't. Like, I'm here to, you know, fulfill what Rox was trying to do. Even though Luffy doesn't want to be king of the world, I think it's going to be like a similar vibe where Loki's going to recognize, wait, this is the guy I was supposed to listen to, right? So that's going to, the seeds for that are going to get planted maybe next chapter, but definitely in the next 2 or 3.
I like that. That's so specific. Loki running on the beach, happy, sad, crying. I like it. I like it.
I can see it now. He has the Loki eyes, but tears are just coming down. It'll be super emotional, but look, I don't want to say freaky because I don't want to like hurt Loki, but it probably will freaky, with like, you know, he's a giant, you know, ancient giant child or teenager at this point. He's going to be like, we already know Oda's really good at drawing like the angry crying faces, like even Rox this last chapter or Kizaru at the end of Egghead. Same thing for Loki. I think we're going to get that.
Yeah. His eyes too, man. The eyes of Sauron, like, we saw them cry when he like fell down from the Sun World when Rox first showed up, and I was like, man, yeah, that's a scary looking child. That'd be just like Shiki, like, yeah, what the hell? Yeah, just like, yeah, like, whoa, what's up, big kid?
Like on the Viz, it just says A.
Yeah, the Viz is so funny. Like, did you see last chapter? They kind of inferred that Silverax wanted to steal Rox's ship, which just came out of nowhere.
I was gonna bring that up when he was when Dax was saying like they're all going their separate ways. I was like, yeah, Silverax apparently took Rox's ship. So
yeah, apparently that's like a crazy mistranslation according to like Japanese translators. They're like, yeah, that's not it. Silverax didn't want to take the ship. So Silverax, right. you're still clean for now, buddy. So Z, what do you got for number 6?
All right, here is a wild pitch. It's a wild swing. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I guess I'll piggyback off of yours too, Dax. So Dragon, we see what happens with him because in the last chapter it was like, take these hostages, take these survivors, and I'll execute you if you don't. We got to see, or hopefully we see whatever happens after that because, we just assume, point A to point B, he became a revolutionary guy. Anyway, he takes one of the fruits from God Valley that was like a prize, and it's like his fruit. Like that's how he gets his whatever his power is, whether it's a Logia or a mythical zone.
I love
because he doesn't have the power yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have the power yet. I just love that, like, the theory that Dragon eats his fruit here is so prevalent that we're like, even after we see that everybody's leaving God Valley, it's like it still has to happen, right? Like, surely the fruit happens here. Like, Oda can't be faking us out, right? I do want to see if Garp will actually swing for Dragon 2. Like, hey, that's my son. You guys don't do anything with him. Leave him alone.
I just want to see them interact. Period. Just talk to each other.
It would have been so simple if Dragon, because Dragon saw Garp here. It would be so easy if he was just like, hey, old man, I need help. Because that was like around the time when, Dragon got shot by Maffy. Or like shortly after that. It's like, hey, Dad, can you like get me out of here? I have like a kid in my hands. Surprised, like, there's no interaction at all. Number 7, Dak Sake. What do you got?
So this one, I've been saving it for last. So I was really glad nobody else brought it up. But I think in the next chapter, we're going to see Roger start coughing a lot. And that's going to tell us that his disease came because he used too much mass in this fight. Because he's the one who actually brought up the mass to Garp. And so it tells me that Roger's probably a little more familiar with using it, whatever that is. Personally, I think it definitely ties to the soul, because Vegapunk mentioned that every soul weighs 21 grams, which is, a unit of mass. They even use the same kanji for mass in that discussion that Vegapunk had. So that tells me there's probably a connection. So I'm wondering if Roger, used too much, and this is why, he was sick and going to die early. There's a lot of parallels there you could think of between, like Ice Oni virus, right? They all got like a power up, but they were gonna die quicker. Or remember in Alabasta, what did they call it? The fatal
fuel.
The fatal fuel. Yeah, remember
Such a
that?
Stupid concept. Yeah.
Yeah, but they all drank this stuff like it's like from Space Jam, like Mike's, was it Secret Stuff or whatever? It's like that, where they powered up for 5 minutes, but then they died. And I think, and there's even other cases, like the energy steroids were like this, right? Gear 5th to a degree is like this, because Luffy uses it and then looks all old when he's done, right? So it's like you're sacrificing most of your youth to get a quick power-up. It's like the opposite of Lao Ji, you could say, where Lao Ji instead saved his youth till later. So I think they all build off the same thing, and so Roger probably pushed himself too much to where now he's going to die earlier. And so next chapter, I think we're going to see him coughing, and maybe they won't outright acknowledge the sickness, but that'll be a hint to us readers, like, wait, he's sick now, right? This is where it all began.
No, I love that. For some reason, before you said, like, oh, like, he's using mass and that's why he's getting sick, I thought you were going to go, like, the whole route where it's, like, maybe, like, the latest, not latest, but, like, a couple of movies back, like, we had an alien movie where the scientists went to a different planet, and somebody stepped on, like, an egg sack, and then, like, black dust flew in their nose, and they just died.
Yeah,
so I thought that's what you were going to say. Was that Prometheus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be like that, where it's like, oh, like, rock starts, like, turning into dust, and then he, like, inhales, like, the emu black magic gummy reversi, and then he just dies over time. But I like this idea, too, where, like, Roger, just like Luffy, he exchanges his lifespan, which could be pretty bad for Luffy if that's the case, because I think there's so many theories already that Luffy's going to kick the bucket by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is the case here, like, oh, mass is what killed him, Luffy's dead. I already don't think he's going to survive, but, if Roger's utilizing this and he dies too, it's like, okay, yeah, it's done. And then we have, like, the whole, like, Ivankov growth ceremony that Luffy used twice that shaves off years from his life. And then, obviously, Gear 2nd, Lucci said that, oh, like, you're training your lifespan for this, aren't you? Which, not exactly reliable, because Lucci has no idea what the hell's going on with Luffy. But,
right.
That was, like, Oda, yes, the character's telling us this, but it's also Oda telling us this, too. So it's like, I wonder if, like, that was the initial play. Like, yeah, Luffy is dying, but, like, it's either live fast and die young, or die even younger, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the lesson behind using, like, your mass if it really is your soul, because it kind of ties into the same logic as, like, how hockey blooms when you're close to death. I think the idea is, like you're not going to use, more of your soul than you need to, right? Like, if somebody's going to end up killing you, why not use 20.99 grams of your soul, even if it's going to, like, kill you in the near future? Because it's like, you're going to die anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the idea on why people get so strong when they're near death, is it's like your soul or your will, however you want to look at it, is like, okay, well, let's put everything we have into it, because, even if we have 60 years of life left and we're going to sacrifice 30 or 40 to win this fight, at least we have 20 more years of life, instead of dying today. So I think that's mainly what we're going to start seeing, is that's, like, very similar in all the other ways we talked about, the fatal fuel, the energy steroids, all that. I think hockey can do the very same thing. And Domi Reversi is probably tied to this too, because it feels like that's like a 1-to-1 to the Ice Oni virus at this point, other than the fact the Ice Oni virus was like just a virus and not some dark magic thing. But both of them turned people into demons. They were going to die quickly, but got a big power up. Like, we're definitely gonna see some interconnectedness. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Kaido got the inspiration for the Ice Oni virus because of what happened at God Valley. It's like, oh wait, Emu's turning people to demons that listen to him. I need to get that. Queen, get to work. You know?
Which, it's funny you mention that. I mean, because that's what Emu says, right? Like, in exchange for your life, I'll give you the powers of a god. So it's like, yeah, like that is another example of like changing out lifespan for power. Even though like that was unwilling, right? It's not like Dorian Broggie wanted that, but you know, Emu did it. So this now brings us to Zhoniin's prediction, his final prediction. What do you got?
So I just think we'll get, you know, one last thing on Roger and Garp. Something where, you know, Garp maybe explains why he's staying with the Marines further, you know, rather than just who else is going to protect him than me. We have to see some kind of like post wrap up. There needs to be some kind of like post press conference or something, like Garp talking to Sengoku or something. There just needed to be more on that. And then the same thing for Roger, because obviously whatever happens here leads him to, you know, going after the One Piece, I guess.
Yeah. Getting a wrap up would be nice. I would just love to see like Rayleigh and Scomper show up and see like Roger and Garp on the floor. Like, what is their reaction to this? Like, oh my god, like you guys, both of you? And then maybe that's where we get like a Holy Night thing too. Like you said, Garp going back to Dragon, maybe showing us like, yeah, he is going to protect the future Marines, because Emu would definitely want to kill Dragon, considering that not only are slaves escaping, but you know, Dragon is attacking an officer. I mean, I doubt Emu cares about the officer, but he's like, oh, like eliminate all the Marines here, right? God Valley never existed. The Marines here also never existed. And that's maybe where Garp steps in. And he's like, okay, you're not doing this. I will protect these Marines. Like, yeah, get out of here. I would love that. Roger, I don't know what kind of update I'd want from him, but you know, I doubt we're going to get it. The egg. You know, Oda showed us the egg the last chapter. Like, at some point, Oda, you know, time's ticking. It's going to happen. My God. I think they need like a fall guy. If I had to guess, I just think they need a fall guy for it. And they're like, yeah, Garp might just be the best one. Because outside of Garp, like, who could they pin this on? Like, oh, like Roger defeated Rox. No, that's bad PR. You gotta say Garp did it, right? Garp did it by himself. There's no Roger here. Garp, the hero of the Marines. Like, come join. 2025.
Yeah, and I think I think that's a big reason why Garp didn't get executed, is like they made him the hero of the event, and they're like, well, we can't go and punish him for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like almost like a weird little political game there that Garp may have played, where like, I don't know if he was like really in on it, but I think he obviously was the beneficiary of it, where it's like, yeah, okay, well, hey, if I'm the hero, you can't do anything to me, so leave me alone. And then, because we know even today, that's why, like, they don't like him, right? I think Sengoku said as much, like, they can't do anything because he's the legendary hero of the Marines. What are they going to do, right? Like, they're going to look like the bad guy no matter what. Yeah. So I would like to see a little backdrop there where maybe it actually parallels Smoker at the end of Alabasta, where Smoker's like, like, that wasn't me, or, like, you know, it's like, I forget what he's told him to, like, shut up, or he just hung up the phone or something. I can't remember, but I want to see a similar thing there where, like, they're telling Garp, all right, well, you're the savior, you're going to take all the credit, and he's just, like, angry about it, you know?
No, I'd love that. And what's funny is that initially here, maybe it's not even Garp that, like, fluxes the hero of the Marine title. Maybe it's Sengoku. Sengoku's, like, outside already spreading the propaganda. He's like, yeah, Garp did it, guys. And then Emu's like, wait, what? Like, where did the hero title come from? We didn't give this to him, and it's actually Sengoku all along. Because, you know, Garp did call him up earlier. So maybe Sengoku's already working.
Yeah, it could be somewhat similar to how, like Luffy's bounty poster had, like, the Gear 5 image and whatever, right? Or, like, you know, there's times when, like, they, you know, big news or whoever's in charge of that stuff prints stuff that they don't actually want. Maybe Sengoku got to work right away and is already printing it, and so then they're really angry, like, wait, we were going to punish him, but now the whole world likes him. What are we supposed to do? And so maybe Sengoku is playing 5D chess. I would really, really like that, just to get some Sengoku hype, because I feel like we've had, like, zero in the story. Pretty much, at least in the flashback for sure.
Shoot, add in Sudo in there too. Sudo and Sengoku are out there spreading the Garp love, and they're the reason why Emu and the Gorosei cannot execute Garp. Like, the hero title is just up there already. And then, of course, if you kill a hero of the Marines, like, I mean, who wouldn't they kill, right? Like, it would decentivize so many people.
That would actually remind me a little bit of what's happening right now with Cross Guild, where some of the Marines are going out there like, yeah, the regular people might hurt us because they're so poor that they need money. You know what I'm saying? Like they want the bounty from us, like T-Bone. And so they're already kind of like watching their back a little bit from the people. And so it's kind of the same thing. If the government was taking out the legendary hero of the Marines, then the rest of the Marines are like, well, I'm chopped liver at this point. You know, like if they're gonna take him out, I'm cooked. There's no point in me doing this. I gotta run.
Yeah,
so,
like if I was John Marine, I'd probably quit. It's like, dude, what? They killed Garp?
Yeah,
like they don't care about Garp. They don't care about me. I'm John. Well, with that being said, we're now to the final prediction, and this is where I will come in with something I think needs to happen. If we do not get this, I think we all agree that we will riot. And if you are, a regular on the channel, you know exactly what I'm going to say. It has to be said. We need a Barbell update.
I agree.
Dax, you know who Barbell is, I'm assuming. Zhoniin, you know who Barbell is, right?
No. I mean,
no!
I just need a refresher.
So Barbell, he is the DEI hire of the Rocks crew.
Oh my god.
Just like how every great pirate group has one fishman. So much so that Whitebeard and Big Mom shared the same fishman, right? They didn't want anybody else.
They had Jimbei. Is this your hidden D theory?
Yes, it's my hidden D theory. Which is really funny when you think about it. Jimbei's a Yonko hopper. I feel like we have a term for people like him. But he was with Whitebeard, then Big Mom, and now Luffy. Roger only had one fishman, which was Sunbell. And Rocks, only one fishman, which is Barbell. Barbell is MIA. We got an update on all the Rocks crew. They all had multiple panels. Even Gil Bestar got a Horo no Mi Devil Fruit. Barbell is genuinely missing. Where is this guy? Rumor has it that he might be a slave at Marie's Draw. Like one of the God Knights found him and said, "Whoa, fish boy!" And then they took him back. I like that theory a lot. There's even memes about him saving Roxy Zebek, like how Beppo saved Law. I just have no clue what Oda's doing with this guy. Did he forget that Barbell even existed? Maybe. I think sometimes Oda forgets that Jimbei's even in the Straw Hat crew, so that's very fair. These fishermen, man, they get treated very dirty. I don't know what's going on. I hope they get more. I do like these fishermen. Rumor has that he might be like father of the sea even, because he's like, before Jimbei's era, and Jimbei's the son of the sea. He could be the father. He might even know Fisher Tiger.
Yeah, is he Jinbei's dad? Is Jinbei Jinbell?
Maybe. Like there's so many theories circulating around Barbell, and I just feel like we need some sort of update on him. Like for most of the Rocks crew, we know like, oh, they're alive or they're dead. Barbell, we have no idea. Like this guy's a genuine mystery, kind of like Kyo. Kyo is a mystery as well. Barbell is he's in that same racket. So I think we need some sort of update on him.
Well, and Barbell was at God Valley. Like, we see him in 1096 show up to God Valley, but then he's nowhere to be seen the whole time. So it makes me wonder, did Oda just forget? Is there a plan that Oda's hiding him for? Did Barbell do some nefarious something, that now we're going to figure out that he, was... I don't even know at this point, because everyone was trying to steal treasure and screw each other over. So I feel like there's nothing bad enough that would, require hiding Barbell. So I don't know. We also don't know what's up with his hair. I still need to know that too. There's so many questions about the guy.
Yeah, something's going on with him. Oda, please show us soon. Rumor has it that maybe Shanks enslaved him.
Did you say Shanks enslaved him?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes, but Shanks is one of the few Yonkos, if not the only Yonko, that doesn't have a fishman on his crew. You know, people are gonna say, oh, but Kaido has Jack, who's like half fishman. Shanks is the only Yonko with no fishman right now, minus Blackbeard. But we don't know too much about Blackbeard's crew yet. Vasco Shot is even human. I have no idea.
Right.
Your guess is as good as mine. But Shanks has no fishman in his crew. So people are saying that the minute Shanks shows up and sees Luffy's crew, he's gonna be like, Luffy, where's his shackles? And he looks at Jinbei. And it's like, maybe that's the case. We never know, guys. We don't know what's going through that celestial dragon head. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. Thank you again to Dax, Sake, and Zhoniin for joining us as well. Really freaking appreciate it. Unexpected collab here. But yeah, make sure to give their channels a good look over. Dax drops hot banger theory videos every single day. Well, not every single day. Every single week.
Oh, don't put that on me, man. I'm having a hard enough time doing it every week.
He drops these big 50-hour theories every single day. More hours than we can count. And Zhoniin also does spoilers as well for One Piece, One Punch Man. He is the go-to. Dax Sake is who I listen to if I want to get impregnated. Zhoniin is who I listen to when I'm in the shower. These guys are amazing, so please, please, please check them out. And we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Peace out.